It goes where no Dragon Ball Z game has gone before. Everywhere. Introducing Dragon Ball Z Sagas, the first ever Dragon Ball Z action-adventure game. Available on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Nintendo Gamecube, rated T for teen.
Yo, what's happening, guys? Luke here from Ashworth Games. This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time, but always kind of got put on the back burner because there was so much other stuff I wanted to talk about. Way back in my Legacy of Goku video back in 2022, I teased this video of happening one day, and now it's finally here. Finally revisited Sagas and played it a good bit since then, and I've now come to the conclusion that it is not great, but charmingly good. So, if you clicked on this, thank you. Stick around. Please like, subscribe, comment on the video, share it with your friends. Enjoy. Thanks. During the mid-2000s, so many licensed games came out pretty much daily, anywhere from Arthur to Scarface, and everything in between that you can think of. If the movie or the series it was based on was popular or it made money, it most likely had a game. Most of these games were not very good, but about 20% of them were. So when it comes to DBZ games, most of them are very hit and miss, and we've talked about them a lot on this channel before. When I did the Legacy of Goku, I teased wanting to do this game, but I put it off for so long, and I finally decided to do it, nearly 3 years later. I had ran through the Budokai and Tenkaichi games and needed something fresh. I didn't have a PS3 or a 360 because I was so behind on the times. I jumped around from PS2 to Xbox and the Gamecube a few different times as a kid, and I usually always came back to the PS2, and this was the only DBZ game available on all three of those systems, and I have owned it on all three multiple times throughout my life. Is that bad to admit? I first played through it on the Gamecube, and I have a very fond memory of sitting in my dad's room and playing this game for hours. At the time, I didn't understand that there was such a thing as bad games. I had games I didn't like, for sure, but me and my brother played what was fun to us, and most of the time we played games that we could play together. And Sagas had a really fun, but slightly broken co-op mode that could be good to pass the time, but also infuriatingly bad. I've forced so many friends to play this mode with me, and they've never asked me to sit down and finish it with them, ever again. Sagas features a very beat-em-up action-adventure approach to its gameplay. You play as one of the protagonists of the anime, such as Goku, his son Gohan, Piccolo, Trunks, or Vegeta through the various levels, battling through waves of Cybermen, Frieza soldiers, androids, or other odd enemies, working your way up to the boss of the level, if the said level has one. You can purchase skills through the Z-Store using coins you find throughout the levels, which can unlock deadly combos, special trick moves, or each character's signature blast move that can clear your way through certain obstacles in your path, or aid you in battle, taking a fair chunk of the enemy's health away. The combat is decent, but definitely a little buggy and not perfected. Certain moves can make your avatar disappear, or just break the level in general, which can be frustrating having to replay a mission because Frieza or another enemy is nowhere to be seen. Stringing together the combos can be pretty fulfilling, and most of the time your combos will be broken, or the enemy will forcefully go on the offensive or try to run away, spamming you with bullshit blast moves. The graphics of the game are very ambitious for its time, featuring environments that are very faithful to the show, but also rushed in some ways, with barriers being very buggy, especially in the PlayStation 2 version. A lot of repeated assets are used, which is to be expected of a game from 2005. But some of its city levels just look copy and pasted and very sterile. The game shines when it depicts the grassy levels in the Saiyan and Namek sagas. Another standout moment is the apocalyptic city in the Trunks levels, which truly feels like a hopeless, ruined world that has been decimated by the ruthless androids 17 and 18. The character sprites are also a little goofy looking, with usually very large eyes and heads, but you can't even see them clearly if the game is displayed in your SD setting. Upscaling the image allows you to truly see the goofiness of the sprites, and some of them are hilarious, Vegeta being one of the more funnier ones in particular. After beating the story mode, you can unlock a mode titled Pendulum Room, where you can replay the various levels of the game with 1 or 2 players, and choose pretty much any Z Fighter you want and any of their costumes from the game. You can also unlock some killer bonus characters such as Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, Broly, Bardock, and even one-armed future Gohan from the history of Trunks. This makes playing through the game a second time even more fun, allowing you to completely demolish everything in your path using Broly. Seriously though, his power level is unmatched and will take less than 30 seconds to fucking destroy any boss in the game, including Final Form Perfect Cell. My only big complaint about co-op is that some of the levels have a 1 player at a time restriction, and a timer will ring in and out, basically having you take turns with your friend to finish the boss off. I guess it would be very unfair to tackle certain fights with an advantage, but it also doesn't make sense because some levels let you gang up on the boss fights. It's weird and kinda not very consistent, but it is time for the final verdict. Sagas is very much a product of its time, as I stated before, and I think my brother said it best. If the game would have been released nowadays, it could have been patched and fixed like most games are. But we can also argue that we shouldn't come to expect that out of a game in general. It should be finished and ready to play when it's booted up in the system, which I do agree on wholeheartedly. It is not a great game by any means, and it's not even close to being the best Dragon Ball Z game. But I've spent a lot of time with this game over the years, and I love coming back to it to take me back to that time when I first played it. The mid-2000s were a great time, and I love the memories of playing these games with my brother, or sitting with my dad in his room while he watched me enjoy these games. Just because a game is bad doesn't mean that it has to be bad for everyone. Nothing is perfect, and I think we can cut Sagas some slack, even if it is an unfinished, rushed, and goofy as hell game. The big thing is that there is love and passion here from whoever made it, and for whatever that means. With a few more months, this game could have been even better. But hey, I'm glad that it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Ashworth Games, signing off.
Squirting all inside my mouth.